Hi, this is Miss Andrea. I'm here at EcoStation, Children's Museum of Houston, and I'm going to show you how to do a project today that's making your own planter with self-watering. So what that means is, you know, if you're a person that kind of forgets your plants, this would be something that's really good for you, because if you forget to water them, they'll actually use capillary action to water themselves. Isn't that cool? And they look kind of cute too. I really like them. They could be a good starter planter, and your plant starts to get big enough it can go in its own pot. But all you need is really like a clear container. I prefer ones that have smooth sides, and this one's got a little bit of a tint, and I think that's okay. You can also paint them. The area up here where the roots actually are, it's probably not good for it to get a lot of light. So it might be good to either put some paper there or to paint it. Or you could leave it the way it is, because the roots will just stay away from the edges. So it depends on what you like. The first thing you're going to do is, and I think you're going to need some adult help because you're going to use some tools for this. The first thing you're going to do is you're going to cut your bottle. You're going to need bottle. You're going to need, I used a little washcloth. It's 100% cotton, and it's really good for capillary action. You can also use cotton yarn or cotton string. Both of those things are also good for allowing the water to travel up through capillary action. You'll need some scissors, you'll need a box cutter, and you'll need something sharp. Possibly, this is an awl, but you can also get like a nail, or if you're having a parent help you, they can also use their drill. I used my drill and made a big hole in mine. But I also did one poking a hole with the awl and then using my box cutter to open it up a little bit. And the last thing you will need is your potting soil. It needs to be good for the plant that you're doing. For instance, if you were going to plant a cactus, you would not want to use this kind of soil. You want to use soil that has a little bit more sand in it, because the cactus roots do not like to be wet. And so this would also allow your cactus to only bring water up when it needs it. So you need a little bit of a plant, and pretty much that's it. That is all that you're going to need to do this. So you're going to take your bottle, leave the top on, because when you try to cut into a bottle, if the top's not on, it's a lot harder. It keeps sinking in. If the bottle's on, there's a little bit more air pressure in there. And what I did was I took my knife and I would do it about a third of the way. You want to leave about 2/3 for the water, but also it depends on the plant. You may need it to be bigger. So if you need a bigger bottle, I would use something like this, and I would probably cut it around here. So that's about a third. So it just kind of depends on what you have. Now, it's going to be difficult to make that hole in there, so make sure that an adult is helping you with this part, because it's very easy for this to slip. Then once you have your hole, you can take your scissors and you can cut around. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to cut around the top like that. Take my plant out of there. I just wanted it to have water. And then on the bottle top, you need to make a hole. So what I did this morning was I made a hole using my awl, and a parent really needs to help you with this, or a nail. I made a little hole, and then I took my box cutter and I opened it up so that my towel could go through it. So I took my towel, I cut a little strip. And what I did was I didn't cut all the way to the top. When I got near the top, I made it more like a funnel. And the reason I did that is because you want your water to go all the way around. And so when I got to the top and it's wider, I was able to make 3 strips. So I cut my strips kind of like little fingers, like a little hand right there. And these will go into the soil, so the water travels up and then it goes into the soil. And what happens is, as much water as needed will come up. And when it's full of water, it will stop coming up, because there's no reason for it to travel up. Then as it dries up, more water will travel up. The only thing with cotton is that eventually you got to keep an eye on it, because there are microbes in the soil and the water, and those microbes will start to break down the cotton. So eventually it will disintegrate and you'll just have to replace it. But you can easily do that. So what I did with mine is, now your hole has to be big enough. So if it's not big enough, you got to go in there and make it wider. I did this with scissors. And then you want to put your little strips through there. So once the strips come up, you're going to disperse them here, and then you're going to allow this to go down, fill this with water. You can fill it with water almost all the way to the very top. And then you're going to put your plant in. So I have today a spider plant. These are very lovely plants, and they also help to clean the air. I don't know if you know that, but it is a plant that will take toxins out of the air. So then you take your soil. I would suggest wearing gloves. I'm not wearing gloves. Anytime that you handle dirt, you need to really scrub very well, because there are microbes, there's bacteria in that soil that if you don't clean your fingernails well, if you don't clean your hands very well, then what will happen is it'll get into your mouth when you eat stuff, and it can make you very, very sick. So anytime that you're handling dirt, you should wear gloves, and you should wash your hands, or if you don't wear gloves, make sure you scrub very well. So what I'm going to do is put my potting soil. Make sure that the roots are covered up, and make sure that the string, so if you use like a yarn, you can do kind of like a little coil, or you use a string, you can do a little coil, distribute it in that dirt so that it gets all the way around, and it's just not stuck there at the bottom. So when you're planting a plant, you want to put a good amount of soil, and then you want to press down. So if I was finished with this, I would take my spray bottle and just mist it, just so that it has a good amount of water already in it, and then the water will travel up as needed. And so then you have this nice little potter. You put it in your windowsill and watch your plant grow. And it's easy, and it's recycled, so it helps the planet, because you're not throwing these away. You're using them to create something beautiful. In fact, you're helping with the oxygen in the air. So this is all a really good ecology project. This is Miss Andrea signing out.